It's a new month and we have a new delightful dimensional cutting die. It's called a paper hug. And let me show you what this looks like. Get in close so you can see. And this has been done on our basic crosshatch. So you can see the mailbox, you can see the flowers, we've got a kitty, we have a little bird sitting up there, and we have the words, a paper hug. And this is going to fold flat to mail it. Oh, it works perfectly. Okay, won't you please come play with us? Okay, before we get into a paper hug, I just want to show you what the basic crosshatch is. And you can see these 4 pieces of the cutting dies, and you see the arch. There are these 2 kind of crosshatch pieces, and then there's also this piece, and you cut that 3 times. And they simply slip together. Just no glue, just slip them together, and that works. And then you can fold it flat to mail it. And these will fit into our 10 envelopes package. So that works nicely too. And we do design all of these to work on the basic crosshatch, but that's not the only thing that you can do with them. So let me just show you about this particular one, a paper hug. And as we all know, that's a great way to talk about a card that's sent to someone as a paper hug. So you can see the mailbox, and the mailbox has an insert that, I'm going to turn this over just because yellow is a little bit easier to see, has this little piece. So it's going to make that look a little dimensional right there. You also have a little piece here that if you have a mailbox, you know that that's what you lift up to tell the mail person to stop and be sure to pick up what you've left. Now, we also have the grass that can go around this. We have the words, a paper hug. We have, as I said, a little kitty, and we have a little bird that can sit on top of that, like so. Okay, the other thing we have is an envelope, and I wanted to tell you about this. Now, when it is like here, it is 2 inches by 2 3/4 inches, and the way that you fold it is you place it with the ones that are pointed at the top and the bottom, the ones that are cut flat on the sides, and this is the way you do it. So they're all scored, just like you can see. So you bring, here, you bring the wings in, and then the bottom up, and then you can attach that with glue to place, or if you want it to be a closed envelope, you bring the top down. So once again, you have it flat, you go wings in, bottoms up, top down, just like that. Now, let me bring this back, and I'll tell you the things that Debbie used when she created this. So there you go. Number 1, here is an example of that envelope closed, and she used our sheet of heart dazzles, and there's 358. I think that will do you for a little while in 3 sizes. And she has attached that there, and she just edged it a little bit with a brown ink pad. You can see that this has the flag up, and this is also, do you see that metallic color? Well, that's what's fun. She used silver linen. Now, this comes in a 12 by 12 size, so you will be able to do a lot of mailboxes, I can guarantee you. Now, Debbie used threaded whimsy patterned cardstock. I'd love to show you a package, but we have sold out, even though that just came out a few months ago. So she used that to do her arch, but then she used the threaded whimsy solid to do the other pieces. We do still have that, so that's good to share with you. And you can just see the variety of colors in that package and how nicely that works, not only for the flowers and the greenery, but that kitty also, and she's got more flowers and more greenery. That's just the beauty of cutting dies, isn't it? That you can, with that one little piece, you can just keep doing it and cutting it and just have a really good look. Now, the little kitty, she has kind of splotched, and she splotched the tiger orange onto it, as well as using some of the brown that she used, the cocoa bean, right there. And you can just see how that was done. Now, with all of the kitties and all of the birds, in fact, this one up here, there is a hole for their eye, and you can take just a sliver of black cardstock and attach it, glue it to the back, just to show that. Can we get in closer to see that? Just want to see that little kitty's. There you go. So there, and isn't that fun to do that splotching with the ink pad? She did add the gold jewel dazzles. This has got 540 on it. So she put that into her little flowers. And a paper hug is just attached right there. They are all separate, so you can use any configuration to have them. And when you get something like this silver linen, which is a specialty cardstock, you might want to cut 2 of the posts. That way it's just going to give it more stability, especially when it's like this and it's standing free. Okay, to show you the back side is where you would write your message. Thinking of you, that's one of the cutouts in the 12 by 12 if you happen to have it. More of the flowers, more of the jewel dazzles. And again, it's going to go flat when you mail it, and you can tuck it into our envelopes, so that will work nicely. Okay, so that is our first one, but we have more. In fact, that's the one that's on the package. And whenever you get one of the products from hot off the press, there is always going to be an idea on the back. We just feel like that's the best way to show you a way to use it. Okay, let's go to our second one. And look at this, a very different look. And now we have a black cardstock mailbox. And can you see the edges of it? Maybe we need to get in closer. But that has a little bit of silver ink pad on the edges. I'll bring in the silver ink pad just so you can see it. And it just goes right along the edge of that. You can see all of it. So that's neat. Now, the envelope down here is open, and it has been touched with the cocoa bean. And this is made out of the, let me bring it out, Flit and Flutter papers. And you can see that this piece was used here. You can see that really pretty arch of flowers. And then Debbie went into the paper pack and found a bird and cut that out, hummingbird, and attached it at the top. The a hello note, that was put on with our tiny words and phrases. So a hello note is just really, really nice. And you can see we've got several little birds flittering there. And this particular post, now this has been put on the front. Our first one was put on the second crosshatch, so that's different. And our kitty is over here. There's more of the green grasses, and that comes from also the Flit and Flutter cardstock. So we've got different shades of green in there. And a brad is being used for that, that flag on the mailbox. And then the gingham bow is made out of the gingham ribbon set. So you've got lots of different colors of gingham. Now, I would show you these little flowers, but we only have about 8 packages left, so I didn't want to drive you crazy. But if you're interested in that, it's in the listing that Debbie has provided for the products that she used. Now, just like the other one, this one you can use the different things to put your message on the back. Here is a hug as opposed to a paper hug, and more grass around that cutout. So it just works really nicely. And again, this is going to just go like that, and you can mail it and it will work really nicely. And I do want to point out that not only that silver, but Debbie typically uses ink pads on the edging of her cutting dies. So that just gives you more flash. Now, you don't have to use the cross stitch. You can use other things like a regular card. And that's what Debbie's done here. This is our 5 by 6.5 inch card. Now, she really wanted this to be appropriate for any member of the family. And so she has chosen the At the Lake collection. So we've got At the Lake die cuts. We've got At the Lake 12 by 12, so you can see you're going to get scenery in this, and At the Lake solid cardstock. So the this piece is one of the bigger cutouts from the paper, and you can see the mottle green in the back, and the dark green is what she used to cover her card. Again, this is a 5 by 6.5 inch card. So this cutout just matted on that same dark green that comes out of the solid, and that will fit very, very nicely. Now you can see what she's done. So she's got a paper hug. Here is her envelope, and this time it has got some yellow around it, and that's done with the toasted oat. So that's nice. Our kitty has been, again, modeled with gingerbread and I think a little bit of the velvet fawn too. Now the velvet fawn is in, so the grasses are in green, 2 shades of green, and this tan, all from At the Lake Solid. The mailbox doesn't have a flag, but it does have foam tape holding it up, and I love how that's open, and it does a nice job with that envelope, so that's great. Blessings, and that little piece, that is from the die cuts. I'm going to open it up. So we have all of these built in the front of the card, and then on the inside we have more. Another one of the big cutouts that's been matted on not quite as dark a green, and another piece from the 12 by 12 pattern. Thank you for your kindness. That's one of the die cuts. And then look at the post. This time it's just holding that little bird, and our kitty is still looking very interested in that bird, I might add. Again, I love the model look. Let's get in closer to that. I love the modeling that she has done with the kitties. Just, you see multiple colors. You get a good look at what she's done with the ink pads. So that's neat. Okay, I have one more idea for you. This too is a card, but this card, when you open it, it has a surprise inside. So I'm just going to open that, and we have birds fluttering. Can you see? There you go. So there's our kitty. There's lots of birds. 1, 2, 3 birds that I see. Our mailbox. Now, this is a great use of a couple of things. First of all, our Gnomes and More Gnomes. Now that came out last year, but they are absolutely charming, and you get a whole scene. In fact, you can see the little guy with the dandelion right there, and there's one on a swing, and then mushrooms on the inside. But what's happening with this is that not only did she use Gnomes and More Gnomes pattern, but also Gnomes and More Gnomes solid. There you go, you can see all the colors. But she also used one of our other cutting dies, and these are the Easy Duo display. And I have to tell you that this is so much fun. You get this long strip, which is 10 inches long, but only 1.25 inches wide, and then you get a crossbar. So what she did is she cut 2 of them out of the pattern, and then they're scored, so you can see how to do that. And then these crossbars are on the inside. Can you see 2 of them there? And 2 of them at the top. So at the top, they are holding acetate strips with birds attached. Down below, they're holding grass. Oh, there's another acetate with a bird on top in the grass. We've got the kitty in there. We've got mushrooms in the background. Just a lot of things going on. Very, very fun. So what you'll do is you'll take your regular card, and let me grab one. So here is our blank 5 by 6.5 inch card. You will score halfway across. So you will go 2.5 inches, score that, and fold that back, which is exactly what was done here. And then you will cover that with the pattern cardstock. So you can see all of those panels. And then die cut these out of the pattern also. In fact, she's done one of the gnome borders there, another of the gnome borders. A paper hug is across the top. And then you can just decorate it as you like. Now, so she has the mailbox out of the pattern. She has the envelope turned around this time. Hello, friend, from the Tiny Words and Phrases, but this is the colorful collection. So that's why you can get some green ones, as well as brown, as well as blue, brown, green, red, yellow, and black. So that's going to go well for you. And you can see that her little flag is out of a pattern. She's added that dot there is the yellow jewel dazzles, and she's added those throughout. And you can see these strips of acetate. Now, our acetate is sold by the sheet. Here's one sheet. I keep it posted on it so I can find it. But you can buy it by the sheet, or you can buy our heavier weight heat-resistant acetate, so whichever you choose. And so I think it's just really fun to have things going from the top as well as coming up from the bottom. And boy, those gnomes just add a bit of playfulness even more to our paper hug mailbox and kitties and birds. Okay, just like that. And this will fit into our 10 envelopes, of course. So that's what I have for you today. Just a lot of goodies out of these 10 cutting dies, as you can see them. Now, we do have the listings of all the materials. They're down below along each of the cards that you saw. We also have a money saver. It's over on the right-hand side of your screen. We always have a money saver, but we also have a subscription. So we'll get in just a little bit tighter, thank you. And the subscription means that you won't miss anything. You won't miss a thing. What happens is that we will send you, the very first time you will get both of these. You will get the basic crosshatch, and you will get what we call the seasonal die, which in this case is a paper hug. Then all the other months you will only get the seasonal. That makes sense because you don't need this again. And that is our subscription. Also, you will get a free goodie every single time, and so that's nice. And this time you will get that sheet of Tiny Words and Phrases. Remember, we used that on the very first or second envelope. There you go. So that is the in the money saver, but it's also the free thing that all of the subscribers got. So the subscribers got that, but you can also order it. The subscribers also got 10% off the retail, and that just works nicely. Now, you will receive, if you have the subscription, you will receive all the mailing before the webisode. That way, because we always have an idea on all of our dies, you have something to get started, some idea to pique your interest and get your creativity flowing. So we offer that to you every single time. So a paper hug is what we have to offer you this month. If you are watching us on YouTube, we would love it if you would subscribe, then head on over to Paper Wishes, because that is the only place that you can buy these. That's right. Only at paperwishes.com. I want to thank Debbie. The woman just has such a wonderful knack of taking a product and just expanding on it and just adding so much creativity to it. And it's really nice because I get to share that with you. So way to go, Debbie. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. Okay, we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.